Hello everyone, once again this is Peter from Learnwithuncletee and you're welcome to this particular tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to be discussing the integral of integral f prime of x over f of x dx. Now basically what this means is not something that is complex. This simply means is that once you see a fraction and you discover that the numerator is the derivative of the denominator, there is a rule that guides it. So firstly, let's start. Let's say that if our u is equivalent to f of x, now we know that if we differentiate both sides, the derivative of u is going to be du, and the derivative of f of x is going to be what? F prime of x. That's the first step. Now, if we say that we divide both sides by u, if we divide the left hand side by u and we also divide the right hand side by u, the left hand side now then still retains as the u divided by u is equal to f prime of x divided by u, and that u is what? F of x. Now after dividing both sides by u, if we decide to find the integral of both sides, it means that integral du over u will be equivalent to integral f prime of x over what? Over f of x. So don't forget, okay, before I go to that level, take a look at this. Integral du over u is the same thing as integral 1 over u du, which is equivalent to integral f prime of x over what? F of x. Now in integral calculus, integral 1 over u is going to give us ln u, which is the natural logarithm of u, and that is also the same thing as log u base e. What did I just say? Let me relate it to a very common letter. Integral 1 over x with respect to x will give you ln x. And ln x is the same thing as log x base e, where your e represents your Euler constant. So if you recall from differential calculus, if you differentiate log x base e, you get 1 over x. If you differentiate ln x, you still get what? 1 over x. So basically in mathematics, ln x is just basically the same thing as what? Log x base e. So it means that when you see something as ln 2, ln 2 is the same thing as log 2 base what? Log 2 base e. So let's come back here. Integral 1 over u du is definitely going to give us what? Ln u is equal to integral f prime of x over what? F of x. And we know that we are integrating with respect to what? X. So if we swap sides, it means that integral f prime of x divided by f of x with respect to x is the same thing as ln u. So it means that integral f prime of x over f of x with respect to x dx is the same thing as ln. Our u is what? F of x. So what it means is that we can still represent this as log f of x base e. So if it's going to be an indefinite integral, you have an arbitrary constant c. So let's quickly consider a very common example. Let's say, or let's just form an example. Let's say we have integral. Let's say at the denominator we have 2x plus 3 with respect to x dx. So if you differentiate 2x plus 3, you know you are going to get 2. So if you are to evaluate integral 2 divided by 2x plus 3 dx, since when you differentiate this, you get the numerator, the answer basically will just give you ln 2x plus 3 plus arbitrary constant c. And that basically will be the answer to that question. So questions under this mostly are always straight answer questions. Let's consider 4 basic examples here. So let's consider the first example. Integral 2x divided by x squared plus 1 dx. Now we discover that when you differentiate x squared plus 1, you're going to get 2x. So basically the answer to this will just give us ln x squared plus 1 plus an arbitrary constant c, since it's an indefinite integral. For example 2 also, we had to integrate 3x squared plus 4x divided by x raised to power 3 plus 2x squared plus 7. So if you differentiate x raised to power 3, you get 3x squared. If you differentiate 2x squared, you're going to get 4x. So it means that the final answer to these will just give you ln x raised to power 3 plus 2x squared plus 7 plus an arbitrary constant c. So now, for example 3, we have to integrate tan x dx. Now, basically, you're gonna wonder that, okay, we don't have a fraction here, so how do we do this? It's very also simple. So now we have to think of an identity that you can relate tan x that will have a numerator and denominator that are both connected using a standard derivative or standard, yes, a standard derivative. So, and that fundamental identity is the trigonometric identity which connects tan, sine, and cos. We know that tan x is the same thing as sine x divided by cos x. This is a basic trigonometric identity that we have. So what it means here is that this is the same thing as integral sine x divided by cos x dx. Now, if we differentiate cos, you are going to get minus sine, but what we have here is plus sine. So we have to get creative. We have to introduce that minus sign. Now, don't forget, we can say that integral sine x over cos x is the same thing as integral minus 1 divided by minus 1 multiplied by sine x divided by cos x dx. So if I decide to factorize one of these minus 1 out, this will be minus 1 integral. Then I use this minus 1 to multiply sine x. That will be minus sine x divided by cos x plus an arbitrary constant, what? C. So from here, you will discover that we can say that this is minus 1 multiplied by, since the derivative of cos x is minus sine x, the integral of these will basically give us integral ln cos x plus arbitrary constant c. Now, because we have a minus 1 here multiplying this, we can still solve it further. So let's change this ln to log x base e. So it means that this minus 1 multiplied by ln cos x is the same thing as log cos x base e plus an arbitrary constant c. So this will give us, there's a law of logarithm that states that a log b base c is the same thing as log b raised to power abc. So this is the same thing as log cos x raised to power minus 1 base e. So don't forget, it's the whole of this cos x that's raised to power minus 1 plus an arbitrary constant c. So what this therefore means is that this is the same thing as log cos x raised to power minus 1 is the same thing as 1 over cos x base e plus c. So this will give us log 1 over cos x is the same thing as sec x base e plus c. And this can be finally left as ln sec x plus arbitrary constant c. So you can decide to leave it as the previous step, or you can decide to solve it further. So, but in any way you try to do that, you must consider what you're actually doing so that you don't make a mistake. So let's move to the example 4. Let's move to example 4. So for example 4, we have integral cot x dx. Now, basically, we know that cot x is 1 over tan x, but we can't use 1 over tan x here because there's no relationship or there's no standard derivative that connects number 1 and tan x. So, since we know that, though we are still actually going to use application of that, since we know that tan x is sine x over cos x, it means that since cot x is, let me write this down so that you don't get confused. Integral cot x is the same thing as 1 over tan x dx. So basically this will give us integral 1 divided by tan x is what? Sine x divided by cos x plus an arbitrary constant. Oh, sorry, we have not yet integrated, so we don't have an arbitrary constant c yet. So this is just dx. So this will give us integral reciprocal of sine x over cos x will give us cos x divided by sine x dx. Now, when we differentiate sine x, we are definitely going to get what? Cos x. So basically, this will just give us ln sine x plus arbitrary constant c. So basically, this is the introduction to integration when you have your integration of integral f prime of x over f of x, which basically sometimes we refer to it as inverse. So basically, when your numerator is the derivative of your denominator, you are always going to get ln of that denominator, which is ln f of x. Then depending if it's a definite integral, if it's a definite integral, you will not have an arbitrary constant c, but if it is an indefinite integral, you're going to have an arbitrary constant c. So on this note, this is where we're going to end this tutorial. Once again, this is Peter from Learnwithuncletee. See you in the next tutorial.